All right, good morning, everybody, and you're welcome to our training today, Real Estate Masterclass 1.2. My name is Olapeju Jibola, and I am the Business Development Executive of Ragnarok Property Development Limited. Now, I want to say thank you to every one of you for joining us the other time in September, and also for joining us today to discuss, a few topics relating to the real estate industry. So this morning, I will be looking at something really quick, but before we go into the topics for this morning, who is the host of this event, and what do you know about them? So before I go on with what we have for this morning, I'd just like to share with us a few things about the host of the event. So Ragnarok Property Development Limited has decided to put up this training, to help realtors hone their skills, and also help realtors close deals, better than before. So a bit about Ragnarok Property Development Limited. I would just share with us the vision and mission of Ragnarok Property Development Limited with us, and also what are the properties of Ragnarok Property Development Limited. All right, the vision of Ragnarok Property Development is to be the leading property developer in Nigeria and across its frontiers, providing secure and accessible and affordable properties to people. And then what is our mission? Our mission in Ragnarok Property Development Limited, we are driven by our commitment to offer our clients premium landed properties that will appreciate and create value. See, in Ragnarok Property Development Limited, we mean, giving our client peace of mind. And one thing about Ragnarok Property Development Limited is we have a motto, that stands out for us, which is whatever we quote is what your client pays, or what you pay. So this morning, once again, I would like to welcome everybody for joining us on this event this morning. It's going to be an exciting time, so I want you to get your writing materials ready, your notepads ready, as we go straight into the meeting this morning. All right, this morning I want to welcome everyone once again. My MD is on this show, and I want to welcome him to this event. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to host this event every month, sir. We're grateful. I'm talking about Barrister Alex Adebi Adedipe. All right, so this morning we'll just go straight into what we have. The first topic we'll be looking at this morning is under digital marketing, and then we'll be looking at how to optimize your social media page to attract customers. And I'll be the one taking that class this morning. So I'll share my screen, and I want you to pay attention and learn as much as you can. You can also share the link with other realtors to join in this class, so that they can also learn, and benefit one or two things. So I'll share my screen right now so that we can learn together. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right. I believe you can all see my screen. So this morning we'll be looking at social media optimization. And as a realtor, how is this so important to you? Of course, it is very important because you need this very well. You know, as much as sales is, you also need to learn how to optimize your social media pages, right? Because in one way or the other, it will help you in also showing up online daily or using the internet to show up daily. So quickly, I'll just run through the steps you can take in optimizing your social media page. All right. Now, how do you optimize your social media page to attract clients? Now, optimizing your social media pages to attract clients involves several key steps. So I'll be sharing with us a few steps um, that is detailed enough to help you get started in ensuring that your social media page is attractive enough to clients. All right. So now, number one, the first thing is you define your brand voice and message. Now, you clearly define your brand voice, all right? You define your value and your messaging, all right? And then because this will help you maintain a consistent tone in your post and interaction with people on the internet. Now, when I'm talking about your value, when I'm talking about your voice, right? It depends on what you want to stay consistent with on the online space or on the internet. You should start it and then you should remain with that tone, right? Because it helps your consistency. It helps your showing up early and it helps you showing up daily on the online space. All right. The second one is choose the right platform. Now, choosing the right platform, you know, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, we have Google search engine optimization, and we have, you know, a host of other platforms. Now, identify which social media platform your target audience frequents the most. Focus your effort on those platforms and maximize your reach. Now, if you made your research and you found out that Facebook is where your target audience, you know, are, then you need to focus your energy on Facebook. If your target audience are on Instagram, you need to focus your energy on Instagram. And if your target audience they are on YouTube or Google, right, you need to focus your attention on that space and ensure that you maximize it. Keep going, be early, be consistent in whatever you do. Make when you choose that right platform that you know that is best for you. And then number three is complete your profile. Now I see a lot of people make mistake with profile. Profile is the first thing that your client will see, right? Profile is not all about your phone number. It's not all about I sell real estate. No, profile starts with your picture. What kind of picture do you have there? Do you have a headshot that is nicely taken, right? Because all of this matters. The client you want to sell to, they want to see that the person I'm giving my money to, right, looks like money. So as a result of that, you need to look like the amount of what you're selling. So you need to ensure that you have a good profile picture that once a client sees the picture, he perceives, oh, this person is wealthy, you know, this person, I can give this person my money and I'll have peace of mind. Now you need to fill out your other details like your phone number. If you have a website, you need to include your website link there, all right, and ensure that your bio is nice. Now, and this your bio, ensure that it's short and then it carries all the information about you or about your brand. All right. And then if you intend to use a logo, fine, but a lot of people don't use logo for things as such. But if you intend to use a logo, it's okay. You can go with that also. Now, number four is keyword optimization. Now, if you're consistent with using a particular keyword, for example, if you go online, you see people are searching for things like are searching for things like land in Lagos, land in Shangote, land in so place, house in so place. Now, if you're consistent with the usage of this word, there's a way it brings you up to the top or on Google, and then people are once anybody makes a search for a particular thing that is related to that keyword, it brings them automatically to you. And then, if you have that thing at the moment, it's a win for you. So you need to be consistent with keyword usage. You need to optimize the usage of your keyword. Now, this helps potential clients find you when they search for services or products related to your niche. All right. Now, another thing is content strategy. Now, create a content calendar to plan out your post. Include a mix of engaging content such as educational articles, client testimonials, behind the scene glimpse, and promotional posts. Now, when it has to do with content, right? Content is such a big one that everyone, I believe everybody in the real estate industry should keep doing. I see some people, I see some Instagram pages that are empty, right? But they only post on their story. No, it shouldn't be like that. You should have a post that talks about you. You should have an educational post. You should have posts that are engaging, that are posted on all of those platforms, because people need to see you. They need to see what you're selling, right? With content, you need to make use of what we call KLT. People need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. So with all of these posts that you keep putting out there, it gives them, that confidence to know you at least to an extent, to like you at least to an extent, and with your consistency, it helps them to also get to like you. Once they KLTU, just know that they can give you their money. All right. Another thing is visual branding. Now, you need to maintain a consistent visual theme. All right. Use a similar color palette, font, and style in your post. This builds brand recognition and trust. Right now, a good example is UBA uses red, Zenith Bank uses red, but there's something that differentiates, these two brands or these two banks, right? What is that thing? It is the font and the style that they use, with their brand or in their brand. Now, you need to also bring in the same thing, right, to ensure that people get to recognize you once they see something that is relating to your brand. So you need to be, you need to be very intentional about visual branding and ensure that whatever video or content you're posting out there, ensure that it is bright enough, it is not blurry. Ensure you give people the best kind of visuals, right, on the internet, because it helps them to also perceive something about you. All right, quickly, I'll just on. Now, engage with your audience. How do you engage with your audience? Respond promptly to comments and messages. Can you unmute your mic? Can you unmute your mic, please?
On the picture. I have to be on the thumbnail. I know. You have to put that down.
Okay, engage with your audience. Now, when you get a message, ensure that you respond to that message as soon as possible. When there is a comment under any of your posts, ensure that you respond to it as soon as possible. Make it engaging. Make it engaging. Engage in conversations, answer questions, and show appreciation to your followers or for your followers. For example, when you get to a mark, maybe 500, appreciate them for following you, 1,000, appreciate them for following you, and like that. Now, number 8 is share value-driven content. All right. Share value-driven content. Provide content that educates your followers or your prospective clients. Provide content that entertain them. Provide content that solve their problem. All right. These positions you as an authority in that niche. Don't post only graphics every now and then. No. Post stuffs that are engaging, post items that are educative, post entertaining items or content on your social media platforms. Post relatable things on your social media platforms so that your audience or your prospective client, they can relate with all of those things that you're posting. All right. And then, sometimes you can also post behind the scene. It just makes your audience also know that, oh, this person is a real human being, instead of posting only graphics or carousel every now and then. All right, then the ninth point is run targeted ads. Now, if the social media platform you have chosen is Instagram, make do with it and run targeted ads on it. All right, choose a good demographic. Right, choose the interest. What do this section is to prepare you ahead for the other sections, because you will get to learn more, in the other sections. I'm just preparing your mind regarding demographics, your interests, and then who are your real target audience. What is the age bracket? All right. When we get to the next session, you really get to understand this better. Now, run targeted advert, it works. All right. Now, number 10, leverage on user generated content. Now, request for testimonials. I know a lot of clients don't really want to show their face, all right, but you can ask them to do WhatsApp testimonials. They can text you on WhatsApp, and then you can use your graphic designer can create something that is amazing, either with graphics or with video for you, with the name of the person. It may not be the full name, because I know a lot of realtors are scared of not wanting any other person to take their clients from them. Now, post it on social media pages. It has a way, it also builds trust in people to give you their money, right? And it also showcases real life examples of your product or services in action, that, oh, this thing is true. All right. Then the 11th one is monitor analytics. I know a lot of realtors don't do this, right? You need to learn how to monitor analytics and read metrics on any social media you want to keep using. Reason is, you need to know what time is best to post. You need to know your top best content that you posted. You need to know your worst best content that you posted. Now, you need to pick on your best, or your top content that you posted. Why? Your top best content is an engaging one. It's something people relate with. It's something that people, they really engaged on, right? When you posted it. So you need to analyze all of these things, so that you know what your audience really want, and then you keep giving them such. Then 12th point is you stay consistent. Now, regular posting and engagement are crucial for maintaining an active presence on social media. Consistency builds trust and keeps your brand top of mind for potential clients. So you need to stay consistent on whatever platform you decide to use on the internet, either Facebook, either Instagram, either Twitter, either YouTube, whatever be the platform. Ensure that you stay consistent and you keep going. Show up early, show up daily, and then you will definitely get your result. Thank you, everyone. My name is Olayemi Ajibola. Okay, I don't know if you have any question from that session. If you have any question, please, I'd like you to unmute your mic, and then you can ask your question.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So, can you advise what's the best social media
Yes,
more
sir.
than is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? What is the best?
Okay, Mr. Shola, you're talking.
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
So I said, what is your advice on the best social media that one can use out of all the social media? So what is the best among them?
All right.
That
Okay.
that actually give the best results. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay. That's a very good question. Thank you. So I would respond this way. Now, which of the social media platform are you acquainted with? Now, there is something about making use of the social media platform, especially regarding to real estate, because it is crucial. Now, you need to know or understand where trend falls at every time. For example, at the moment, we have a trend on Twitter. As a result of two things that has made Twitter to be a trend. Number one, as a result of the election that happened in Nigeria this year, right? Number two, as a result of the payment that has been incorporated into Twitter. Now, it has made Twitter a trend where everybody want to engage on, or where everybody wants to go to engage or to see what is happening, right? Twitter is a good space to make an advert, but not a real estate advert. All right. You can just show up by giving them content daily, or not daily, maybe 3 times in a week on Twitter, and then you'll be good. Just bring up educative content on Twitter. Now, for Instagram is a good space to do advert. And then YouTube or Google is another good space to do advert or to be consistent daily. So you should do video that has nice visuals and post it on your YouTube page, and you find out that just ensure that you're consistent by posting nice videos that carries nice content, and ensure that the copy that goes along with it is also amazing. Then Instagram is another very good platform that you should maximize.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Instagram is another good
Okay.
platform you should maximize. It's also a good spot where we have HNIs, right? HNIs, I mean high net worth individuals. They also come on Instagram to see what is happening, because everybody loves beautiful visuals. And Instagram is more of videos, nice pictures, and all of that. So you can maximize those platforms. Thank you. I hope I was able to answer your question, Mr. Shola.
Yes, 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 yes. I really appreciate that.
All right.
Appreciate.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Do we have more questions? Do we have more questions? If you have any question, please you can unmute.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Steven.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to ask concerning the social platform you talk about, consistency, and they have a like social auto posting. So which other platform do you think one can use for auto, like Hootsuite and the like? So that one can be consistent doing regular posting. So which of these social posters do you recommend to us that we should use that is free, that one can use to be consistent on the social platform?
All right. Thank you. So you can use Notion. Notion is another very good platform that enables that, right? You can schedule all your posts on Notion, and then it will do an excellent job for you. So make use of Notion. You can download the app on either Apple Store or Google Play Store.
Okay, and it's free?
Yes, it is. It's free.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir.
Yeah. All right. Do we have more questions? Do we have more questions regarding the first section that talks about digital marketing, so that we can go into the second section?
Okay, I have a question.
All right.
My name is Kinsley. Yeah, I want to ask that. What's the role of websites when it comes to the market? Is it very important, or do we just take it as not so important?
All right. Thank you for the question.
There's one area people don't even make mention of.
I didn't hear you.
I said I noticed that it is one area that people don't even talk about.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that question. So I didn't talk about it, or maybe in a way I did, because if you're going to be doing YouTube and all of that, it requires a website. Now, this is one thing I want you to understand. A lot of people complain about I just want to run my advert to my WhatsApp and all of that. Now, having a website is a very good thing, because sometimes you are sleeping. The website serves as a platform that is automated. where you can run your adverts to, and people will have, they will have understanding of your product. They'll have a product knowledge, right, of what your product is all about. For example, in Ragnarok, we have our website that talks about our product. It does not just talk about our product, it talks about everything we do in the company. All right. Now, as a result of that, when I am sleeping or anybody is sleeping or whatever, right, and then we are running an advert, it takes them directly to our website to read more about the adverting, right? It helps them to know that the adverting has, 2-bedroom with maid room, 3-bedroom with maid room, and all of that, right? So it is a good thing to have a website. But if you cannot manage a website, right, then it is best you go for a landing page or a sales page. Right now, a landing page or a sales, let me make use of the word sales page, right? Sales page just gives your prospective client an overview of what that product is all about, right? And then it could redirect them either to your WhatsApp after they finish reading, so that they can make payments and you can proceed into the next part of it. I hope I was able to answer your question, Mr. Kingston. Mr. Kingsley, are you there? Okay, I think is off the space. Okay, so I don't know, does anybody have more questions so that we can go to the next section? Okay, Miss Loretta, please, you can go ahead.
Good morning.
All right, good morning.
Okay. Good morning.
Good
Okay,
morning.
please, how do you create a landing page?
Okay. Creating a landing page is a bit easy. You can sign up with a domain, get a domain and a host plan. You can use any platform online. You can use Domain King. We have a host of them online. Probably I'll just type out a few and then I'll post it on the chat box while we continue the conversation. And then after,
Thank you very much.
all right, I'll just do a walkthrough on how you can get that done. So after you get the
Okay.
domain and hosting, you can then install WordPress and just a few other instruments like Thrive Architect or Elementor. Those are like website builders. It just enables you. It's more like add and drop. So it just enables you to put together all the information of the product you're selling, and then you're good to go. I hope you got that.
Wow, it was quite fast, but I have a basic understanding from what you said.
Okay, let me repeat
But I
myself.
will just depend on those notes that you're sending so
Okay.
that I can read it through and through.
All right, there's no problem. So I'll share the notes on the group chat.
Okay, thank you very
Hello,
much.
sir.
Thank you.
This is Stephen once again. So concerning the landing page you mentioned about, what about using MailChimp or MailerLite to create a one-page landing page and automate it? Because those ones gives a platform for email automation, a sequence of sending messages through email after you have collected their information. Please,
Okay. Are you done with your question? Okay. I think his phone is misbehaving. All right. So it's also a good one, but most times, those platforms, they tend to also misbehave sometimes, although it enables you to incorporate email marketing into it, especially when you're using those kind of platforms, right? But most times it also doesn't come cheap to get started on those platforms. All right. But anyone who can afford it, it's a good to go thing to do. But I may just recommend you make use of maybe Domain King. At least I know of Domain King. I've been using Domain King for years now, and it has been a good platform. I would also work along with the IT personnel of our company so that we can come up with something on how you can easily get this done. All right, do we have more questions? All right. Since there are no more questions from that session, all right, I want to thank everyone once again for all right, thank you, Miss Loretta. Thank you. All right, so right now we'll be going into the second session where we'll be talking on prospecting. We'll be talking on prospecting. All right, and this morning, permit me to welcome to take us on this section the managing director of Ragnarok Property Development Limited, in person of Barrister Adebi Alex Adedigbe. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Olaimi. I'd like to say good morning to everyone. Thank you for keeping the date with us today. I hope that this interactive session will all gain from and will all be able to take something away. I'll be discussing prospecting generally, and I won't be speaking on the usual things. I would be speaking on the unusual things. And when I say unusual things, I mean the little things that sway things here and there. I want to keep the discussion as practical as possible. So I'm going to pick a few things that you should consider when prospecting, and I'm going to discuss those. So the first thing I would like to say is with prospecting, I think we can agree that there's no cast in stone model for approaching or finding or determining where to find prospects. But there are various strategies, right? And whatever strategy you choose, what's most important is that that strategy is pursued with energy, consistency, and deliberateness. And when I say these things, what I mean is you can choose to go in a particular direction, another person can choose to go in a particular direction. Both parties can succeed. What matters is how much energy do you put in that direction that you've gone in, and how deliberate are you with finding prospects or finding clients in that direction. What I feel is that a lot of us haven't really come to terms yet on how much effort is required. You know, if you say that your strategy, for example, is guerrilla marketing, and you want to talk to people and random people and hope that one of the random people would buy property from you, then you have to answer the question, how many people do you think you need to talk to find one person? A lot of people get frustrated after the first 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 people they talk to. But you need to try to be able to answer the question, how many people do you even expect to talk to? And that's an example of guerrilla marketing. If you say that you want to use print media and you want to share flyers and you want to use social media, for example, you have to answer the question about how many people do you need to give flyers to get one person that would actually show genuine interest if your strategy is flyers. So what are the questions, for example, that would come up? Let me dive into another issue, right? This I would say, how do you find prospects, right? So how do you find prospects? One of the ways would be location. So let's discuss the topic location. In location, I'm not referring to the location of the site per se. I'm referring to how does location of the site help you find prospects. So typically, what are the people that would usually buy a property? You would find that they are people that live around the area, for example, would be interested in buying property around the area. Why? Because they are already familiar with the area. So if you want to sell a property in Shangotedo and you find someone that lives in Awoyaya and they're trying to move into their own property, yes, they will be good to talk to in that regard. But are they the only ones you should talk to? No. There are people that also live far away. So what have we found in our own few years in the business? We found that people often assume that let's look for rich people. Where can we find rich people? Where can we find rich people? But the truth is, let's assume that rich people are in Lekki Phase 1 or VI, for example. It's easier to sell property in Shangotedo to someone that lives in Aja or Awoyaya than to sell property to someone that lives in VI. Not because the VI guy does not have money, but because typically we are all aspiring. So most people aspire to what they don't yet have. Now I'm just discussing behaviors of customers. Most people aspire to what they don't yet have. You're not really doing much for a VI person by offering him property in Shankutedu. If he already has property in VI or a Kate, this is not, it doesn't mean that what you're doing or what you're selling is not good for you. It doesn't mean it's not a good investment you're offering him. But most of the time, people like to derive some form of gratification even from their investments. So the person doesn't earn any bragging rights by then saying that he bought a property in Shangotedo, for example. So I'm trying to say that there's some complexities around location that we need to take time to understand. People around the area are more likely going to be familiar with the area. They're open to the area and they'll feel more comfortable purchasing something in the area. What are the other categories of people that are open to purchasing things at the area? We found that a lot of people that live abroad, let's say diaspora, right, clients are also inclined to. There's a reason for this, and we need to try and understand why. Most people lived maybe outside Lagos, in the outskirts, or even within Lagos. They move out of Lagos, move to Canada, UK, US, live there for 10 years. After a while, they are longing to buy something from you or from Nigeria. When they engage, sometimes they're not as familiar with the areas as someone that lives here. So the guy that lives in Ekate understands that it's Ikoyi, from Ikoyi, VI, from VI, Ikate, after Ikate, you have Osapa, then you have Chevron, then you have Ajah, then you have Shangotedu, then you have like that, all the way to Ekpe. Someone that lives abroad, right? They are more amenable to, they're more receptive to your locations. What they want to know most of the time, is it mainland or island? And when it's island, is it Lekki environment? If it's Lekki environment, they're open to the area because they are not as familiar with the area. Not to say that they're not familiar at all, but they're not as familiar with the area. And this is a good thing for them because most people naturally overrate, most people that live in the Lekki area overrate their actual location. And what do I mean by this? I mean, somebody that lives in Chevron, sometimes you find them looking down on Ajah, but really, what's the drive between Chevron and Ajah? I don't think it's not up to 5 minutes drive on the expressway. In another world, both areas can be the same place. So what have we found in terms of how location of the client affects property? We found that people that live near the property are often more interested. We've also found that people that live so far away from the property that they are not disturbed by the little things of, oh, is it before this? Is it before that? Not to say they will not ask, but the impression is not as dominant for them. So we found those two categories of people to be more receptive when you are discussing on marketing property. Then What are the other things to consider in finding prospects? You have to also profile the prospect themselves, the behavioral pattern of the prospect. What does the person do? You know, where do they eat? Where do they drink? These are the things that should also come into play in finding what platforms do they engage in. So, for example, uh, social media is very good. You know, I wouldn't say it's not, but for those that take a lot of time to and spend a lot of money trying to use social media to market properties, will also admit that social media is a difficult place as well for property. Difficult place because you're selling something that is expensive. You you need random engagements most of the time, and the amount of property you're selling, because the business is very serious, the volume you're selling, it makes it, you have to go through so many people, you have to reach so many people to get to one serious person. So you have to be open to that. So you have to look at, I was discussing the profile of the client or prospects. You have to look at where they go, where do they drink, where do they eat, uh, where do they live. You have to look at their age. You know, depending on the type of property you're selling. The market for flats, for example, might be slightly different from the market for terraces, even though sometimes you find the same categories of people that are interested in both developments. But you find younger people buying flats, you find more family people buying terraces, you find people that are also maybe not particularly younger, but want to buy property for investment, maybe more interested in flats than in terraces. So those are things to also consider. You want to also consider the age of these people based on the product you're trying to sell. Now, how does the price of the property affect your decision in finding prospects? It matters. So I'll give an example. I would say that if you're selling a property that is below, let's say, 80 million, and that property allows people to pay in installment, you'd find that it might be easier to convince someone that has 40 million in his account to buy that property, or 20 million or 30 million, put down a deposit and hustle the rest of the money over a period to buy that property than someone that has 200 million. Why? Because most of the time, not to say that 200 million people will not buy 80 million property, but most of the time, 200 million property person is trying to buy a 300 million naira property. You know, everybody is always trying to, well, most people are trying to reach that which is just a bit beyond their reach. So you find that it might be easier to sell to people that have half your money. After all, they only need to deposit a part of it, and then they can aspire to getting the rest than people that have way more than your money. Every once in a while, you will still find people that have way more than money on property, showing interest in property for investment purposes. But you have to understand that this is going to happen 10% of the time. So, what are the other things to consider? I stress majorly in the office from time to time that when we're speaking to a client, a prospect, we want to, in the first minute of the discussion, try to determine whether that person is showing interest for investment or whether that person is showing interest because they want to live in the property. You know, a lot of times we do a lot of talking, or we might not really be talking to the prospect. That's why when you find most seasoned realtors try to first connect with the prospects and understand what their need is, what they want, so that you can know what the right things to say are. So let me give you an example. If you're talking to a client and the client is majorly interested in the prospect, and the prospect is majorly interested in property for investment. You are hammering on the facilities that the units will offer, that you have automated speakers that you can connect to Bluetooth in the house, you have a playground, you have your gatehouse, you have uniform security, all those things are good. But if the person is not planning to live there, of what use is all that information to the person? You know, what would be most important to the person if they were buying for investment would be how much was this area selling 2 years ago? How much is it selling now? And how much is it likely to sell in another 2 to 5 years' time? Those are the things that will tick the box for someone that is buying for investment. The second category of people are people that are buying to live in. When people are buying because they want to move their family into the unit, what they would care about the most would be what's the size of the rooms, you know, does it have a BQ or a maid's room, you know, what are the facilities that I'm likely to enjoy there, you know. Person might not care too much in this instance whether the price of property goes to double in the next 5 years. I mean, if he's going to live there, how does it affect him so much? Because so we have to understand that those two categories are separate. Now, most of the time, you start your discussions, you don't really know which side the person is on. So it's possible to talk about the two just to be able to derive the answer to the real question, which is, are you considering for yourself or are you considering for investment? You know, we have to be bold about that question. There is no point constantly second guessing why somebody is trying to buy when you can just ask them. You know, you can ask them, you know, what's the budget like? You know, from the budget, you can have a hint of what they might have in their account presently. You might want to ask them, you know, are you looking to buy to move into or you want to buy for investment? And once they give you the answer, you should go directly in the and talk about the things that would tickle their fancy. Let me put it. So, and this will save a lot of time. This would also get you quicker to your goals because most people have a tipping point. They want to hear something before they show interest. And if you are not speaking to what they want to hear, you know, they'll probably just say, okay, let's talk about it some more. I'm not ready now. Let's talk about it again next month. Next month will come, they will post you again, and so on. So we have to be able to ask the bold questions, even if those questions would lead to us finding out our fears. And what are we most afraid of? We are afraid that the person might not buy. You have to know that it's okay for people not to buy. Sometimes, most times, it's not because of what you have said to and what you have not said. Most of the time, because the person you're talking to doesn't have the money, and they might not tell you that they don't have the money. So you want to shorten your time by speaking directly to the reasons why the person is showing interest in the first place. You know, so that might help with perspective. Another thing I want to mention is product knowledge. Those that do well in sales would admit that you have to invest time in knowing about the product. The courage and confidence in selling a product will first derive from how much information you have about that product. A lot of people do from time to time, let's say we do what we call lazy work. Lazy work is you want to sell, you know, you've told someone to copy and paste the details of the property. You forwarded that copy and paste to someone that wants to buy. The person is asking you questions, you can't really respond. You can't really talk about the things that they need to hear. So I'll give an example. Let's say you want to sell something in Awaya and you've been there, you've looked at the property, you've looked at surrounding areas. Let's say you have your own personal table where you write advantages of this property. You write surrounding estates or surrounding infrastructure. So you've seen a school called Green Springs School. You've written it down, Green Springs. You've written down the title of the property. You've written down the features and amenities that are going to be available in the estate. Then you've written down other advantages like flexible payment, instant allocation and so on and so forth. So you've written down all those things. And then you are speaking to a client, and the client or prospect, the prospect is talking about how they have 2 kids, right? And then you're able to quickly tell them that, and there's a very good school just about 2 minutes from there called Green Springs. You can even check it out online and read about the school. It's one of the top 20 schools in Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. But if you have not visited and you don't know that Green Springs is there and you're just doing copy and paste, you can't have that information. And because you don't know, you can't tell them. So information will go a long way in terms of product knowledge. It's tedious. Sometimes the gain does not come instantly. Sometimes the gain does not come as fast as we want. But most of the time, if you invest enough time, enough energy, whether now, whether later, it could be someone that you've spoken to comprehensively a month ago, 2 months ago, that is going to call 3 months ago, sometimes 6 months ago, that's going to call to say that property you discussed with me then, is it still available? And most of the time they are paying a higher price, they don't mind. It's not everybody that is price sensitive. Some people want the project to get to a certain level before they come in. So I think lastly, I would like to say that also always consider that people like to aspire, right, to a higher level. You don't want to discount that. I don't want to speak like I'm discriminating against a particular area of Lagos. No, but the truth is, it's easier for you to sell someone on the island to someone on the mainland because the person in Ikorodu does not mind moving to Shongutedu. It's harder to move someone from Shongutedu to, and that's just how it is. It doesn't matter how we feel about it. It also doesn't mean that it's right. But in marketing and sales, you have to embrace trend. You have to embrace what is happening now and what people want, regardless of whether they are right to want it or they are wrong to want it. Our work is not to judge them. Our work is to sell to them what they want. So on that note, I'd leave it at that for now and say that I'll take questions regarding everything I've said so far. Thank you very much once again for joining us here today, and we hope that we all have a wonderful experience. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for that session. All right, does anybody have a question? If you have any question, please, you can unmute your mic. Do we have any question? If you have any question, please, you can unmute.
Yes, for me, there's no question. I just want to compliment on his.
Yeah, it's Kingsley again.
Hello,
Can
can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
me?
Yes, Mr. Shola, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, good morning, sir. So thank you for that piece, sir.
Thank you.
So, and I don't have a question. I just want to compliment on your name. That's A throughout. That is triple A's.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shola, for the compliment. Okay.
All right, do we have more questions before we go?
I think Mr. Kingsley was trying to say something.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question.
All right.
Yeah, let's take for example. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, let's take for example Ragnarok properties. From your own experience, can you give me an idea of the demographic population that buys those properties? Let's assume your apartments.
Location, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll tell you that I said this in my speech earlier, but let me go over it. So I'll tell you that Shongotedo, you will find more of diaspora, right?
Okay.
Diaspora will be UK, US, Canada, right? That might be like 40-50%.
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
I would guess the reason. The reason is because when you convert the price you're selling Shongotedo to a couple of reasons. So one is when you convert the price you're selling Shongotedo to dollars, it's not a lot of money, right?
Okay.
Right. If they were to buy that type of house in the US, maybe they will be paying like $180,000, $200,000. And by the time they're checking how much dollars they have to convert to buy a property at 65 or 70 million, like 70K. So one is much cheaper for them, right? It's much cheaper for them, especially
Yeah.
if trying to have, as they get older, mostly when you're people that are above 55, you know, people like to move abroad when they're younger, but they don't know that when they're older, they would like to move back home. You see that later happening. So everybody likes to like go back home when they want to have somewhere. They don't want to be staying in a hotel when they come to Nigeria. They want to have somewhere to stay. But majorly because it's cheaper, majorly because they have access to credit. They can raise credit easier to pay your installment payment. So the installment works perfectly for them, right?
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
also because they are not as particular as they're not as particular as people that are already in Lagos, you know, considering things like maybe traffic, maybe other things like, so you see somebody that lives in, I don't know which area you're very familiar with, but you can find someone in Osapa, London, right? I don't know if you know where
Yeah.
Osapa is.
I
Nagungi.
know where it is.
Tell you that he cannot live in VGC. And you ask him why. You say because of traffic. You know,
Okay.
because he'll tell you that the traffic is entry to Osapa is a lot, and he doesn't want to take another extra 20 minutes. That will take him 20 minutes during rush hour to get to VGC, and he cannot do it, and therefore VGC is not attractive to him. But if you live in Dallas or Atlanta in the US, and you check on the map, what's the gap between Osapa and VGC? It's like it's the same, it's the same area, really. Is another 4 minutes or so drive on the expressway, you know. So there's that. So what are the other categories? If those people buy 50%, you know, I would also say that people that live outside Lagos, you know, they face the same thing. So if you're in Port Harcourt and you're moving to Lekki, what's the difference between Ikate and Lekki Phase 1? And you have to just know that that person is coming with a different mindset. That person's first objective is to move to Lekki. When he moves to Lekki, you start knowing that this area in Lekki is better than that area in Lekki and so on. So you have people from outside Lagos. Maybe you're living in Edo State. Maybe you're living in Edo State and so on. Harcourt. And then maybe you might have 25% of people fall in that category. And then you have people that live on the mainland, people that live in Ikorodu, people that live in maybe Okpa. Sometimes it depends. Most people on the mainland want to move to the island. Let's just put it like that. For whatever
Okay.
reason, actually for the wrong
Yeah.
reason. So another 25%. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. I still have one more question to ask, sir.
Okay, go on.
You made mention of the fact that someone that stays in Nigeria will not be interested in staying in Sangotedo.
No, it will be.
From your own
I said it will
experience.
be. No, I said it will be. It will be.
They will. But someone that stays in VIA might not be interested because of their income ability.
Might not be interested in where.
Sangotedo.
So what I was trying to say, yes, it's a bit complicated, right? But let's
Yeah.
understand the implications. You know, I might not want something for the same reason you might want it. But I'm just trying to say what's general. All these things have exceptions. You find exceptions everywhere. You understand? But
Okay.
I'm just talking about generally, you know, just to reduce the amount of time or to make prospecting faster, right? Somebody in Aja understands that Aja and Shongotedo are not, there isn't much difference, right? Especially because of the expressway being expanded. So if somebody is renting in Aja, surely they don't mind buying in Shongotedo. You understand?
Okay. Yes.
That reason is because they are moving from renting to buying. So it's attractive, right? It's attractive.
Yeah.
For somebody that has bought in Aja, except he wants to buy for investment, will be more interested in trying to buy a Chevron, because he wants to move up. He doesn't want to move down in his own mind. It's a mind thing. Now, this doesn't mean he can't buy. He might buy for another reason. He might buy because he wants to rent it out. Now, but if you go as far as VI, somebody that has property in VI, even at the cheapest, you're starting from 200 million, even if it's just a flat. That person already has 200 million house. You know that everything is relative. What is going to impress that person is another property that is worth more than 200 million. So if you are marketing, come and buy terraces in Shokotedo for 70 million to him, and another person is showing him a house that is 240 million, that is bigger than the one he's living now in VI or in Lekki Phase 1, he's more likely going to be interested in the Lekki Phase 1, even though it costs more than VI 1. So I'll give you a good example. If you are not clear on my example, try to sell land in Badon or Ogun State or Ekiti, somebody in Lagos. Most of the time, they're not interested. And it's cheaper, right? But why are they not interested? Because it's not in their growth plan so much. How much are they going to buy property? How much is property going to sell for? It doesn't feed that their hunger or greed, as the case may be.
Okay.
So that's what I was trying to say about it. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I think Loretta is trying to.
Okay, thank you, Mr. MD, for that insightful segment. I wanted to, is it like a testimonial now, but like the impact of your last session on the impact of your last session.
Yeah.
That's the previous session
last
before
month,
now.
Yeah, last month, yeah, correct.
And last month on my sales target or on my sales technique. You brought out some techniques. You said, prior to this time, I have a client in the US and she has bought about 2 properties from me, but now she wants to buy a bungalow. And then I keep sending her all kinds of properties and she keeps, she doesn't make any decision on them. She just like, okay, keep sending. Okay, sister, keep sending and all that. So after that session, I now asked her, I said, please, if you can just answer these questions, it will help me better in getting you the property you desire. Do you want a property you like to live in or resell in the future? What's your preferred location? How far can you stretch or go financially when I send you a property that you love and are willing to acquire and own? And I told her the way to. Do you know what she said? She said, my sister, I will wait after the burial of my father-in-law. Isn't that funny? So that means that she was just making me run up and down and telling me, because at any time she say, okay, like this one, I'll just say, okay, I'm going there to go and do a video and send to her. She'll say, okay. But after I streamlined and I asked those questions that you asked, and look at her response, that means that she was not really, really ready. So it really helped me. And it also applied to some other clients who they are nearing, they are nearing sealing the deal now. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, because there's opportunity cost on your time. So the time that you could have used to be talking to people that might buy, you are using it, investing it on somebody that is not going to buy yet for sure. And the sad thing is, you might invest 9 months with that person or 2 years with that person, and then the day they are ready to buy, you are already tired and it's a new realtor that is talking to them that day that they are going to buy from.
You're right.
So it's good to ask. It's good to ask those questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any other questions?
Good morning, MD.
Good morning.
Yeah. So I have mine is a bit of a question which I think I just need a kind of help. Now, what
Okay.
happens when you are prospecting a client? You have done series of meetings with the client, and as a matter of fact, the client has filled all the necessary documents. All the client needs to do is just to make
Application
payments.
form. Good application form.
Exactly.
Okay.
Has done everything that is necessary, and all he just needs to do is to make payment, and all of a sudden the client just go MIA. Then after some time, I I started sending messages, there were no response. I sent mails, there were no response. After a while, he sent a message that he's trying to look at the dollar naira issue first before. And this client, he's abroad actually. I told him, if you actually buy any property, I think this is the best time for you to buy, because
Yeah, correct.
you're paying
Paying way
actually
less.
you're
Way less
paying
than
way less than what you're supposed to, you know. But I've been trying to find out. I still believe that there is more reason to that. Apparently he just threw that, because I can't really factor the reason why he should be looking at that. And moreover, he has told me that he's looking at actually investing more, and I know that he's not converting his money back to dollars like in the next 1 or 2 years. So how do I manage such clients?
Okay. So there if I know the answer to your question for sure, right? If we can know which is you want to know what the guy is thinking in his head. If we can have that answer, we can both retire today. If we can know what other people are thinking inside, both of us can retire today. So the truth is, you don't know, right? It's better for you to not try to know, because it can be anything from him not having money, him doing a business deal that is waiting for his court and they've not paid him, or him applying for a loan that he has not yet gotten, or he has the money, he has done everything he wants to do, he wanted to buy it. Then he had a conversation with somebody and the person goes, Nigeria, don't invest money there. Oh. By the time you change the money now, you see that everything again, all your gain has gone. It's not better for you to come and do this other one. Or another realtor has captured him. It can be any of those things. But like the last speaker said, like Loretta said, right? What you need is to know, right? Our problem is our fear. We're always afraid to ask the questions that are right in front of us. If you give somebody application form and they fill it, and you have discussed property at length with the person and they have not paid, what you are supposed to do is to ask them directly, sir, you know that I've sent you the application form for this property, you showed interest in it, and I was hoping that by last week or by now you'd have made some deposit towards it. I don't know why, but is there a reason why you haven't? You know, you have to ask. I mean, the reason why we don't ask is because we're always afraid that the person might go and say no. But there's nothing you can do about that. You know, there's nothing, information is key. The more you can quickly find out, the more you can quickly move on. But the real answer to your question is, what can you do to safeguard against that? I'll tell you that every realtor that is serious will tell you that they have people that they have spoken to, everything, person has said yes, and you just go to payment, the person just disappeared. You know, we've had a client before. I'll share a story with you. We've had a client before that called, showed a lot of interest. We spoke, called me directly. We spoke on WhatsApp, doesn't live in Nigeria. We spoke extensively, you know, discussed even some personal things like, oh, she's going to have to get off the phone now. She's taking her kids to school, blah, 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 blah. You know, all those kinds that tell you their private business. I have to listen just to act like you care. You know, not like you don't care, but sometimes it's not what It's not what you want to listen to, but you have to listen to and try to say, oh, okay, so let's talk later around what time. You know, she even went as far as sending some money, right? Just sent a bit of money and said that money, he sent maybe like 500,000. And said that normally if she's sending money, she likes to first send a small amount just to check, you know, so that because she has mistakenly sent money to the wrong person before and it was a big issue. By that time, I guess you'll be sure that 100% this deal is sealed, Abby. Then 1 week, 2 weeks, she stops responding to her messages. She didn't send money for the property. She didn't even ask for the 500K refund that she sent before. Does that make any sense? It doesn't. Then fast forward a year from that time, I get a call from the client and goes, oh, I heard that you started a new development. I'm looking at it online now, blah, blah, blah. You know I have some credits with you. I've not forgotten. I'd like to buy this your new development. And then the person then buys the new development. Because I didn't even ask her, what happened to you before? How did that go? Why did you? You know, you cannot know. You know, it's like you just watching human beings and why they do what they do. Except you have all the other information about what's going on in their life, you cannot know what it is, you know, that will make them. So the easiest thing to do is to ask. But the solution, because it won't be nice to have this discussion and not talk about the solution. The solution is if you don't know, if you agree with yourself that you don't know who is going to buy from you, because you don't have all the information on their side. The only information you have is the one they are giving you. And depending on how your relationship with them started, that's what will determine how they will give you. If you are a female realtor and a guy has tried to brag to you that he has a lot of money and he bought property from you, when he's broke, he will not be able to tell you that he doesn't have money. He will continue pretending like he has a lot of money. So you might never know that it's because he doesn't have money, right? There's so many ways that there are so many reasons why you might not know. So what can you do? You can increase the number of such people you have. That's the only way for you to be sure. Imagine you want to make a payment and you have promised somebody that on the 20th of this month, I am going to pay you 5 million naira. And you are expecting 5 million naira from one place. You know that your promise is a 50-50 promise. If you don't get your 5 million, how will you pay the person? But if you are expecting 5 million naira from 3 or 4 places, what is the probability? And those 3 or 4 places, they don't know themselves. What's the probability that all 3 people will disappoint you at the same time? Very, very slim. So if you have 3 or 4 of this type of clients that have filled the application form, that even you are already expecting one of them to just disappear and not pick his call again. It's okay. It also helps you better to talk to them with confidence, you know, because you have other options. So the worst way to sell is to have only one option, only one man that wants to buy from you, and everything, all your expenses for the rest of the year is tied to that one sale. So you are so afraid that if it doesn't happen, you will even be afraid to negotiate properly with the person or to tell him things you need to tell him. And I know that I'm not ignorant of the fact that I'm saying it as if it's easy to just get all these kinds of that. It's not easy. It's not easy. I understand that it's not easy. I understand that you might have to go through hundreds of people to get one very serious client. But you have to know how to make it easier. How do you make it easier? When you get one client, that client is always a chain for other clients. You have to exploit it. You have to familiarize a bit more with that client. You have to know their friends. You have to find them on their easy moments where they can introduce other people to you. Sometimes even when you don't, naturally they call you and recommend other people. I gave somebody your number. I mean, he should call you. He's talking about looking for a property too, all of that. So that your year 1 of real estate marketing is not the same as your year 2. Your year 2 is not the same as your year 4. Your year 4 is not the same as your year 5. And what do I mean by that? If you grow that chain and that network, after a while, you'll be able to confidently say, I want to sell a property this month. And I know that if I talk to 5 people, these 5 people that I've dealt with before, definitely one of them will buy because it's a good deal. The estate is just launching, you know. and it'll be a good time for them to key in. The business rests majorly on trust more than price, right? People would buy a more expensive property from someone they know than a cheaper property from someone they don't know, because we operate more on, human beings are operate more on fear, whether they admit it or not. Fear is the biggest driving factor. So whether the property is cheap or not, once someone that sold to them before just says, sir, better be careful. There are so many stories, so many 419 companies around. You just see that the guy will not pick your call again. So it's important to, the solution I would suggest for you is to increase the number of such people you have in your basket. And if you need to get more information, just ask politely. So you don't lose anything. It can save you a lot of time and you lose nothing. There's nobody that wants to buy a property that will not buy because you ask them when they are going to pay a deposit. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great
Thank you.
insight.
Yeah. So I think that's it for questions. Do you have any more questions? Olaimi, I think you can move to the next.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, so finally, we're going to the final session for today, and she will be taking us on the topic skills of top selling realtors. What do they do? All right, to take us in this session is none other person than Mrs. Olapeju Fuwape. You're welcome to our class today, ma'am.
Thank you very much for listening. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. And I want to say thank you to Ragnarok company for having a training like this. In fact, the last time I joined, I found it very, very, very educative. And I like the fact that it's a monthly thing. So this will continue to help us to get better and better in this business. I will just be giving what I'll be talking about. I'll be talking about myself, what has worked for me, and I'll be talking about just about 5 points. So I'll just go straight into it so I don't take much of the time. The first thing I would like to say is that you need to know your business. You have to know your business, whether you like it or not, because you cannot do without knowing what you want to sell. You have to know your business, know the different terms in real estate, go for trainings, read a lot, and then know your products. Even if you don't go to every site, you have to be familiar with what you are selling. You know the products, the location, you know the name of the estate, location, the title, the payment plan, the landmarks, the advantages and disadvantages of buying that property. Because clients will ask you different types of questions that you can never imagine. So you just have to be well grounded in what you are doing. I remember when I first started real estate and Mr. Tony Aspire was talking one day and was saying that when you are doing this kind of business, you talk to everybody about what you do. And I'm like, can I just walk up to somebody and be telling them about real estate? I said, I don't think that can ever happen to me. But I found out that is what I'm doing now. I found out that I cannot talk to somebody, whether I've just met the person, just been introduced to the person, or we just met in the bank and we're talking, kind of. Within 10 minutes of talking to you, you will know that I'm a realtor. I would have told you. There's no how. I just found out that just happened naturally. So I found out that whatever you do, you must have a passion for what you are doing. And I found out that real estate has become my passion. That it doesn't take me time to tell people what I do, and I say it effortlessly, and then it becomes like a gisting session. So that's the way it's supposed to be. Know your products so that anytime you talk to somebody, I'm into real estate, oh, really? Okay. okay, what kind of real estate do you do? I tell them I do sales, investments. You can invest in land or houses, and you can do land banking. I just explain myself, and I do it leisurely. And that's because I've taken time to study my products and know my products very well. Then when it comes to clients, you need to understand your clients. You have to understand why your client wants to buy, what he or she wants to buy, and when he or she wants to buy. Most clients, when they come to you, or maybe somebody introduces somebody to you, and you start talking to the person, and most time they don't want to tell you this is the amount of money I have. But you don't even need to really ask how much money they have. But you can tell them, okay, why? You can ask them, oh, may I know why you want to buy? And they will tell you from why you want to buy. Okay, how do you want to buy it? Once you already know, is it payment plan? Is it outright? You tell them you have such offers and all of that. Once they tell you why they want to buy, you know the kind of property to introduce to them. Once you start talking to them, you know the location you introduce to them. And then once you start talking to them, you know whether they have the money now, they want to do payment plan, or if they want to buy now, they're just making inquiries about buying. The most important thing for you is to sound convincing. The client wants to know that you are genuine, that you are not fake. They're not going to run away with their money. You are not, you know what you are talking about, because that particular client is talking to several other clients, and realtors rather, and not only realtors. All his family members, they have told them about the fact that he wants to get a property, and everybody, they're all bringing their different options. So when it comes to that, just know that you really have to know what you are doing, and you have to sound convincing. So they come with different kinds of questions, and you must be able to answer the questions very well. I remember one of my clients, then he had not bought, and I kept on and on kept on him, pushing him and all of that. And got to say, said, madam, you are not the only person I'm talking to. I said, yes, I know. But one thing I know is anytime you call me, I'm ready to pick your call. Anytime you text me, I'd like to respond, because I always enjoy talking to you. You know what you are talking about. And you are the only one that has been able to answer all my questions properly. And I was very, very happy about that, to hear that at least that my efforts is not in vain. So from that time, I knew that this guy was going to buy. Anytime I find that he's drawing back again, I just chat him up. Good afternoon, sir. How was your day? And then try to make it light. Are you available to talk right now? If he says yes, I'll call him. And sometimes he tells me no. I tell, okay, what are your preferred time? And he will tell me, even if it's in the night, I have to sleep first and wake up around 11 p.m. because most of my clients are outside the country, and they're in the US or Canada. So I have to wake up. Sometimes I don't sleep. But when I go out, I'm tired. I'll sleep first, wake up, and refresh. I'm ready to talk to anybody till 1 p.m. Nigerian time. And when they see that you're able to do that, they know that you are really serious. And then whatever you are telling them, don't say because you want them to buy from you, now start exaggerating, and then you start lying and telling them what is not obtainable. No, just tell them the way it is. In fact, the clients I've had now, in this space of 2-3 months, there are clients who have told me, I've not been to Nigeria in the last 47 years. I'm like, I've not been to Nigeria for the past 43 years. I'm like, 43 years. So anytime I'm introducing something, I have to tell them this property is in so-so location from Lekki Phase 1 to this property, so minutes if you are driving and there's no traffic. I just tell them the way it is. And some of them, now send their families or their friends come and inspect on their behalf, despite the fact that I've already done a live video for them. And when they come, those people, the relatives, they also come with their own problems. Some of them want to have a court. Some of them already have properties that are showing that person. They come with so many, when you see it on their faces, maybe because I read people quite easily. So you keep an open mind. You be friendly, just be, and then be friendly. Once you are friendly, they will calm down and tell you what exactly they have in mind. If they want to collect something or anything, they will tell you, and then you have to be wise. If not, you just totally lose that. Even after working and being on that client for months or even over 1 year. Then another thing is when you take a client for inspection, make sure you're on time, be well dressed, because your dressing says a lot about who you are. You don't dress to, I mean, if you are going for inspection, dress properly, dress appropriately for that occasion. Cover yourself properly, because you may be sending out the wrong signal. If you are a lady, you expose part of your body, you're already sending another signal. And maybe that's just your way of dressing, and all you just want to do is to sell. Or maybe you want to sell because of you want to use that as a selling point. It's not the right thing to do. I have seen people, I've seen realtors, young realtors who have gone on inspection and they have just been themselves, dressed properly, who are spinsters, dressed properly, spoken politely, and in the process, the client will buy and then they get married. Things happen. So the way you present yourself says a lot about what is going to happen at the end of the day. And then when I go on inspection, way back when I started real estate, I found out that when you take people out on inspection, the weather is hot and all of that. So I make sure that I have a, a pack where I put drinks, and then I buy snacks like nice biscuits, cake or something. I get water, cold water. Even if you don't have a car, you can still do that. All this ice bag, it's not they are not that big. You can just buy very chilled bottled water. That way, your clients will be relaxed. I remember maybe about after a year when I joined real estate, I went out with the clients, and apparently those two clients, they are friends. They wanted to buy a plot together and share it. I didn't even know that they didn't have money for a full plot each. But I got to know them. One of them is in fact, two of them are in my church, but another branch. So we had gone out, and then they now opened up to us, Sister Peju, we have gone out with several realtors. You are the only one who has taken time to explain to us, to give us advantages and disadvantages of every land. And you are the only one who has even entertained us. And for this reason, we are going to buy from you. And that was when they now opened up to me that, this is the amount they have, and this is how much they want to invest. And then I was able to recommend a particular property to them, and they bought without any stress. And they got their allocation and they're happy. So there's so many things, there are little things you just need to do. But most especially, the one that helps me the most is the God factor in this business. I believe that everybody believes in God. Maybe even if you're a Christian or a Muslim or you're a traditionalist. So you just wait on God, believe God, because when it comes to we have 10,000s of realtors selling the same products, you know that means that you're not the only one selling. And anytime a prospect is speaking you, that person is also speaking to so many other realtors. And another thing is this, I found out that the clients I have, I so much, I'm very professional with them, but at the same time, I'm very friendly, I'm very compassionate. So at the end of the day, they become close to me, they become my friends, and they even ask me on other matters. So I usually ask them for referrals. And they say, even if you don't ask me, I'll recommend you because I now know you. I know you are honest, you are this, you are that. And I get referrals. The last sale I made, in fact, that man has introduced me to me about 6 people now. And I've been following up with them back to back. And these are people, because there are different categories of people, of buyers. There are some buyers that have come to identify buyers in their 50s, 60s, particularly outside in America and Canada. They are retiring and they have some lump sum they collect from government, particularly those who are up to 60. When they clock 60, they collect money. And when they collect that money, they want to invest in Nigeria. So if you have a cousin or an uncle outside the country in Canada or US particularly, you can get such clients. And once they trust you, they will definitely buy. They are looking for where to put that money and just buy. Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can
Hello?
hear you, mommy.
Yes, we're listening.
We can hear you,
Can
mom.
hear you. Can hear you.
Because I'm not getting any response from anybody. So I'm like, why is everybody quiet? Anyway, so at that time, they are looking for something to buy. And then I found out that there are also some other categories of people too. I saw 2 years ago, and they are like in their 40s.
Sorry.
Me, madam, there's something that's called, I don't have money now, but I like what you are selling. But there's something that is called 401k in the US, like their retirement benefits. You can actually get a lump sum out of that retirement benefits. And that was what the two of them did at that time. And from that time, when clients call me and then we talk and they say, I don't have money, I don't have, and they're from America, I just say, okay, these are the things that my clients do. Some of them take loan, some of them do 401k, and they're like, oh, you know all about that? I said, yes. How come? So I got to know all about that from my siblings too, because my siblings are in the US, and I'm the last one of my mother, and my mother is late now. Because so and I now give them the suggestions on how they can get money, and it's okay. Let me go and see how much I can get from that one, and then we look at how much it costs, and maybe I can do some contribution with some Nigerians that we do a job with, and then they come up with something. So those are the ways. Some of them actually want to buy, but they don't have an idea. Some of them have an idea, but they need to have the encouragement. And then they have relations that are so, they're ready to suck them dry. They tell them negative things about Nigeria, and they just don't want them to come. I don't know, for maybe their own personal reasons, I don't know. Some will tell me, Madam, I've bought houses, I've done 2 buildings in Nigeria already. And when I came back, I couldn't stay in any of them. My relatives have taken those buildings. My mother has taken, my younger brother has taken with his wife. So what can you do for me? And then there's no like that. I'm in the process of trying to get her something. And then she went back again to her relation, and then she stopped picking my calls. I didn't stress her any longer. But from time to time, I still send her properties that I feel that she may like. And I still send her messages, read her, and all of that. At least I believe that when she's ready, she will still talk to me. So just keep following up, and keep on God. That's what I do the most. And then I try as much as possible to understand my clients, understand what they want. And then some of them are they are very, very fearful of Nigeria, particularly those who have not been to Nigeria for over 30, 40 years. We tell them horrible stories. And I tell them, I said, look, if some people are investing in Nigeria, why wouldn't you invest? If at this age you have so much money in the United States and you don't have anything here, just come and try something. It's okay, madam, I will try something. I'll try something. Okay, from there I'll just be encouraging the person because I counsel a lot. I do personal counseling. That's another aspect of my life. So sometimes my clients turn to people that I eventually counsel, and they say, okay, let me think of it. Okay, I don't want to come to Nigeria. Why wouldn't you want to? Why wouldn't you want to come to Nigeria? Nigeria is good, and I tell them, I'm the last child of my mother. We were six, and all of them schooled abroad. I was the only one that said I don't want to school abroad. Even when I was getting married, they were like, you have to come and start living abroad. I said no. So all I just was doing was going on and coming back, and that was what I was doing. Said Nigeria is good, and I can never live anywhere else. Even though my children are not in the country, I can visit them. Nigeria is good. And I give them all the reasons why Nigeria is good. And they tell me there's no security. I said, no, there's security. All the houses I'm selling to you, they're all in gated estates, and we have security. Once we can guarantee them that security, 24/7 lights, and then another thing they have been coming up with recently, they'll go back to their relations and tell them, and those ones say, they'll give you service charge. It's so much. And then I had a meeting with somebody, with a client and a relative on Sunday. And his major problem for not filling the form is still on Ragnarok, on the Halverton, was that the service charge is going to be too much. I said, look, let me analyze it. If you have your own personal house, your own personal house, let's even leave electricity out of it, and you have a gas in your own personal house because they are now looking for a self-service because you said you don't want service, whatever. If the estate is charging 50,000 per month, which is 600,000 per annum, or charging you 60,000 per month, which is 800,000 per annum for security, for waste disposal, for recreation and so many other things, and changing of bulb of different general areas and all of that, excluding, and even for what that is also includes water. It's good enough. I told him, I said, look, me and my husband, we are living in our own house. It's not in an estate. And if you get a security, a malam, the least that malam can collect is 40,000 naira. You will still pay Loma money. You will still have to service your own water. We have our own borehole, we service it. All that is no more than 50 or 60,000 naira per month. And then I said, if people, I said, okay, what of the electricity they are going to bill me unnecessary? I said, no. I said, it's to your advantage. Now, diesel is very expensive. Petrol is very expensive. If you have your own generator, you have to service it. If you do solar, it will last you, but after maybe 3 or 4 years, you have to change it. So if you are in an estate and they are selling electricity to you, you can still do solar and then do pay as you go. And that's what they are doing. I said, if people in Nigeria, people who are earning in Nigeria, are not complaining of electricity supplied by real estate companies in gated estates, they are not complaining that it is too expensive, then that means it's not expensive. And I told him, I said, look, I'll give myself as an example. It was a tough meeting on Sunday. I said, let me give myself as an example. I said, myself and my husband, we are living in the 6-bedroom duplex here in this same axis. And now we are planning on moving to one of our land in the gated estate. And we don't even mind them giving us their own light. We pay for it because the stress of managing generators, generator technician, all this method, it's not worth it. It's not worth. So I explained. I said, really? He said, really? I said, yes. And then that was when the relation now started saying, okay, what madam is saying is true and all of that. I said, okay, I'm convinced about that. Now, okay, I'm convinced. So what other question do you have? He said, okay, he doesn't have any other question. I said, okay, so let's fill the form. So that's where we are. So what am I trying to say? Clients will ask you different questions. They will come up with different reasons. And because they are speaking to several people, they are speaking to relatives, they are speaking to friends, they are speaking to different people who have had good and bad experiences. And based on that, they will come to you by the grace of God grants you the wisdom to be able to tackle them. And if not, you can call on the MD and you can have a meeting with them. And then this man, I said, okay, we can still have a meeting with the MD. He said, okay, no problem. So that if you have any other doubts, you can be tried. That's despite the fact that his friend had already bought it, and his friend has visited Nigeria, has seen it. The friend's wife too has come to Nigeria, has seen it. And despite that, but the relative, because I'd gotten close to him, to the relation here, he was now the one telling that a lot of his friends are giving him several options, and that is why he's been behaving like that. But still, I keep keeping on. But at the end of the day, he had to tell me, he said, look, you have given me all the answers I need to all the questions. So what am I trying to say? We should be ready for any questions. We should know our products. We should be able to tell the clients, this is the reason why you should buy. These are the advantages why you should buy. Like when his friend was going to buy and he was like, wanted to buy, I said, okay, okay, this one I'm offering you in this area, this Shango Tedu area, this is the best house available. This is the best price available, and this is the one that is going to be available for you in January, ready for you to move in. And this is the best buy. I know you have been going on internet, you have seen several, I've also sent you several, but this is the best I'm telling you to buy. And then he called me back before and said, Madam, I've made up my mind. That thing you told me yesterday, I said, you can look around, Google the area, check all the ones I've sent to you. If I'm telling you out of the ones I've sent you, this is the best for now, go for it. Just believe me. And when he came to Nigeria, was it last month? Barrister Adebiyitu was there. So happy. He was just too happy. He kept on calling me to thank me. He was really very happy. And that is what gives me so much joy. When the clients come back and they see what they have bought and they find out that it's exactly what I've been telling them on the phone that they actually meet. There is no difference. And it's even better. And that gladdens my heart. So those are the things we should be doing. And I believe that with all of this, God will help us to be able to make those sales. Thank you. If you have any questions I can answer, I'll try to answer them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. Okay, if you have any question, please you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Any question?
Hello, Ma.
All right.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good morning, Ma.
Good morning.
Yeah. This is Elizabeth Olukoya, Ma. I really enjoy your wonderful session, Ma. You really opened my eye to a lot of things. Yeah. Actually, at the moment, I'm talking to a client now. The client is based in Ibadan. So I'm trying to sell a pair to him. So I've given him every reason for him to invest in a pair because a pair is becoming, is the new Lagos in town now. It's the talk of the town now. There's so many investment coming in Epe. So he was like skeptical about it that the distance is far, is far, is far. So I'm telling him that there's no place that is far at the moment when it comes to, as long as geographical is concerned, there's no place that is far because that place that you're taking is far. In the next 5-10 years, you will blame yourself that why didn't I get into this? So at the moment, he's just telling me that what happened is that he will talk to people about, for me. But I know that man is someone I know that can afford that property. But now, what do I do to people like that?
I think you said he lives in Ibadan. Is he a Yoruba man or
He's a Yoruba man.
Igbo? He's a Yoruba man.
He's a Yoruba man, yes.
How old is he?
Him?
Yes, is he an elderly person or a young person?
Not that elderly, he's an average age.
But number one, you have to know the reason why he wants to buy. Is it for investment? If it's for investment purpose, Ekpe is good. But you will have to tell him, look, this place I'm selling to you, I tell my clients, I've sold several lands in the pay, and I tell them this is a future land. That is why you are getting it at so price. This is the amount. This is why you are getting it at so amount. This is the kind of title it has. You know, you have to be open to the person and tell the person, because sometimes when you tell them to come and buy land in Lagos, but like somebody in Ibadan, you feel that you are taking me to the bush. Tell him if you want to buy somewhere that is not bush, it is 25 million to start with, relaunch price. And this is the title. You really have to explain that this is a land for the future. That in future, if you have bought this land for 2 million naira, maybe in another 4 years' time, it should have developed, you can sell it for 10 million naira. Those are the things that instead of keeping that money in the bank to depreciate, this is what it can do for you. That's whatever money you keep in the bank now, if you keep 1 million naira in the bank and you just leave it there, that 1 million naira is effectively like 650 or 550 naira, 550,000 if you don't turn it over in some kind of investments. So those are the kind of things you keep telling the person, and then you explain, and then you really have to know if the person is really interested, or some people did not. The fact that he has money does not mean he really wants to buy.
Yes, yes.
There are some people like that. They will just be whining, going back and forth, and that kind of thing. So you really have to, just like Barrister Debbie said, you have to ask upfront. I do that too, because I really ask them, why do you want to buy? Are you ready to? I really ask them such questions so that I will not be wasting my time. Because I find out that I don't even have enough time in a day. I list things to do, maybe I list 20 things to do, maybe out of that 20 things, I'm able to do 5 things. So why should I be wasting my time on somebody that will not buy? But that doesn't mean that I will not be sending him things once in a while and be, still keep on with him. But you will not waste your time. So you really have to ask him direct questions. That okay, if you want to buy now, are you going to do outright or payment plan? Even if he doesn't want to tell you whether he wants to buy. But from those questions, those sort of questions you ask him
Thank you.
politely, you will get an idea whether he really wants to buy or not. And tell him that if he invests in Ibadan, he cannot get kind of returns he will get on Epe in a land or a property in Ibadan. That's where you start from with him.
Okay. All right, ma. Thank you so much, ma.
You're welcome. So I think we are done.
All right. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Do we have more questions?
Just one more question.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
What has been your best sales strategy? You know, we major on social media, but yours have been like one-on-one. Can you say that it has been your best sales strategy, or which do you really recommend?
Okay, I forgot to talk about that. You know, when we started and started going for trainings, we say Instagram, this Facebook, and all of that. I got somebody to do my website. I paid somebody. I found out that the person did not even do it, just collected my money. All the things I wanted him to do on the website that I even got to know from the trainings I went for, he couldn't do it. So I just left that side. But later I went for other trainings. I was like, this social media thing, I don't even know what I'm doing safe on them. I don't even know. But later at a training, I heard that just zero down the one that you know that you can handle, or the one that works for you. And that really got to me. So I said, Facebook works for me. So what I do on Facebook is this. I become friends with people we went to same secondary school together, same university together, people that I know, where I've worked in about 5 different places before I retired. I just become their friends. And then after I've separated those ones, I will now become their own friends. I'll look out for their own friends that don't know me. I will now be their friends. That's how I got a lot of followership on Facebook. And then every day, I make sure, at least every day, well, at least 3 times a week, I make sure I post nice content on your story. And then I make sure that I have on Facebook, I have my business page, which is PK Real Estate, and I have my own personal page. And on that my personal page, I put both my maiden name and my married sign. I just put Olapeju Talabi Fuwape. So people who knew me in my primary school able to locate me. People who knew me in my secondary school and my university because I was doing my maiden name, able to locate me, and they all became my friends. So I become their own friends. So sometimes, then again, anytime we go on allocation, be it land allocation, I post it live, and then I still post it on my two pages, both the business page and the Facebook. And so people who don't know me directly, whenever they want to buy something, they will not look for this person I don't know her directly. They will not look for somebody that is their own friend and is also my own friend. At least people have done that. They will now call, do you know Koju Fuwape? Ah, she was my classmate. She's good. Okay. And they will now call me, you are a friend to so and so. I saw your so and so. I'm interested in land banking. I'm interested in one bank. No, that's how from there. So I just concentrate on my Facebook. I just concentrate solely on my Facebook, and it works for me. And I'm very popular amongst those people. So, and my church members too. I've been going to the same church ever since before I got married. I got married in 1990. I started going to that church in 1987. So I've been going to that same church, and everybody that went to that church, CCIC, I just befriend them, and they also and their friends also befriend me. That kind of thing. And through the church, I've been able to sell properties too. You know, those are the things. Just look for what works for you. I think for the younger generation, some of you go with Instagram. For me, I I do post things on Instagram, but sometimes I posted something one day, it was upside. I was like, "What's that?"
Oh my God.
And then my son had to call me all the way from Canada. Mommy, did you see what you did? I said, okay, I let me take it off. So just do what is what works for you. I don't even know how it happened. I posted it the right way because I'd gone to somebody at slots who I said, look, when I post on Facebook, I want it to appear on Instagram. And it has been appearing like that on Instagram without any problem. Only for this thing to happen this day, I just say, I beg, let me find my level. Then my children are like, Mommy, let's help you out. They try, and I'm not even ready. But I told them that when I'm ready, I have a lot of work on my hands. When I'm ready, I'll do. So do what works for you. I'm on
Thank
Instagram a
you
lot.
very
I
much.
watch people. I watch
Okay.
what they do. I watch what other realtors do, how they post, how they put out their contents. I go through all of those, and I use those things on my Facebook personal page. And then on my personal page on Facebook, I do when I go to Owambe, when I go to people's parties, when I go for things with my friends who are on Facebook, I post it there. So they actually see their friends with me on Facebook. You understand? At the same parties. So those are the
Okay.
things, personal things. You know that this person is really real. She's not just somebody, a random person you meet on Facebook. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Ma. Just one more. From your presentation, you are very, very down to earth, and you made sales very, very easy. Because most times when we're doing sales, we just look above above people's heads and not know that even within our contacts, we can get so much sales. You are very strategic, down to earth, and utilizing opportunities. But I want to also ask you, how did you go from, because you mentioned initially that how you heard Tony Aspire say, talk about real estate wherever you go. And you gradually became that. How did it happen? How did you transit to talking about real estate wherever you go? I'm still trying to break that,
I think what you need to do is just participate more in the events you do. Go out more. The more you go out, the more you show interest you become passionate about the business. You know, you start to do it. In fact, that you start doing things effortlessly. It will just happen naturally. That was what happened to me. For me, I've been in civil service. I worked in several places. I retired last at Bible Society, Nigerian Law School. That's where I retired, and then went to work with Bible Society, and then retired again. And all my life since I became 16 years, I've been doing business. I've been selling things. I've been having shops, even with doing my business. And I found out that even with that, all the people I've done business with, I've bought things with, they became my friends. So it's not that now the trend with me. I'm professional, but at the same time, I'm friendly and very compassionate with people I sell to. So they don't just leave me after the sale, and I don't just leave them after the sale. So they give me referrals. They give me referrals. Then another thing that I noticed that you have to be able to identify what does not work for you. I forgot to mention that. Before I was doing WhatsApp status posting because we went on and said you get more people. Of course, it gives you a lot of awareness. People get to know what you are doing. But it boomerang for me. Once I post anything, people just be telling me, "Mommy, I have not eaten since yesterday. My wife is in the hospital. This and this and this. I need money." It became so overwhelming that my sister, I stopped doing WhatsApp status posting. In fact, I don't do it again. I just concentrate um, on Facebook and keeping up with my relationship. And then when I meet people, I tell them what I do. It will just happen. Anytime they are having
Precious.
programs, just go for it. Go for it. Go for the programs, meet people, and then gradually you find out that other businesses you are doing, you will be losing interest little by little. Not that you lose interest, you will be gaining more passion for this real estate. And then it will be easier for you to talk about it more, the more time you spend in that business. Thank you.
Thank you, ma.
Hello,
Just
Hello,
one more.
hello, ma.
I
I have
sent
a
you,
question. Hello, ma.
please let me just round
I
this
have,
up with her.
I have a
I
question
sent
too.
I sent
Okay, just
a
I
hold
have a
personal
on.
chat
question.
to you.
Hold on,
I
hold
sent a
on.
personal chat to you. Please, if you can help me check it, I want to discuss with you an experience I had with a
No
client,
problem. We,
and I
we can
want you
discuss it
to.
now. I've sent my number, so anytime you are free to call me, we
Okay.
can discuss anybody. You can
Okay.
rub minds.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. I have a question. This is Steven.
Good afternoon. Yes. Okay.
Antipeju, yes. Antipeju, concerning the loan you mentioned. So how can one talk to his client to assess those kind of loans you mentioned?
Well, it depends on how. No, you can't just call him. You can't just tell the client that you can take a loan, you can do it. No, you must have spoken. You must have discussed to that extent. And if the client is telling you, I like this, so I don't think I can come up with that money, and I'm telling the client, there's a payment plan. Okay, I said and I would just chip in. I have some clients who take loans in the US. Some of them take loan 401k. But that 401k loan is like you are already a civil servant. You are working somewhere. And then they are putting a certain amount of money aside for you for your pension or your gratuity in later years. But that money, assuming you are taking up to maybe like $50,000 out of your money is with the company, you can borrow times two or maybe a certain percentage from that money without interest. Yeah. So you just say, what about your 401k? You can get loan. There was one lady that bought the house from me. Sometimes was it December? She came to see her house recently, a bungalow, and she told me that she has exhausted all those kind of things, but there's another loan. So the house came just like that. It was a secondary sale and was a bungalow she wanted, and we were able to get it. And she said, auntie, give me 2 weeks. Let me arrange the loan. And that was what she did. And she arranged the loan and she paid for it. And she's now servicing the loan. She came to Nigeria, was it in August? in March to see her house, and she was very happy. So there are so many. They have a lot of loans, even in UK. I have a very close friend of mine. We went to university together. The first one she bought it. She got a loan. They have a lot of loan in UK. Some kind of credits. She got the loan and she bought this small house in Epe, a bungalow. At that time, it was 10 million. And when she came to see the house now, she now bought another one, 20 something million at Epe there. So, and she doesn't have the money. If you're in UK and you're working, you may not really have the money. But there are some loans you can service. They know. But you can just chip it in if the person is really interested and the person is complaining of money, yeah, you can do this, you can do that. Maybe the person has never got, but at least if you are getting a loan for something that is worth it, just tell the person, my clients do that. Say, okay, your clients do that, okay, I can also get the loan, and they will go ahead and get it.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I've gotten the answer to that.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you. Do we have more questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Ma, I want to know how was your first deal? How was it like? How did you feel closing a deal the first day you closed? How was it like?
Incidentally, it was my niece. I think she's also on there. I invited her. Her name is Jumoke. She was the one that introduced me to real estate. And she said, auntie, there's this business I've joined now. I'm sure you like it. You that like doing business. I said, what kind of? When she told me, I said, real estate. I said, I don't want to allow with some money level. Because the house where we are living now, we had bought 2 lands before that time. And they were all fake. I said, I don't want anything that will take me to jail. Said, no, this one is not like that. Eventually, I joined. And I didn't know what to do. And that time, we didn't even have a structured thing like this. There was no BRG, there was no rent, there was nothing like that. So she introduced me to Tony Aspire, and Funke Kende, and some other people. And then we were just going, we had about maybe 1 or 2 developers then. We're just going to meet them, helping them to, anytime they want to launch an estate, they will just share colors one way or the other. This one we call that person. Oh, yeah, exactly so and so. We shall meet each other there. That was how we were doing. So when I said, how am I going to sell this thing? So the very first time I went to site with them, it was somewhere around Abijo. That Abijo was serious bush. And then I had just joined 2 weeks before. And Tony Aspire and Kende, they were going to do a video. They said, Mommy Shemashi. I said, oh, yeah, what will I say? So I just stood. And then we did the video. It's somewhere on Facebook. And we did it. And that was how the fear just removed, just went away. That was the first time. And then I'm like, how will I make sense? So I started to tell people around me, I told you all my life I've been doing business.
Yes.
And I was selling clothing. I've been selling clothing since I was 16 years. When I got into the university at 16, I've been selling clothing, not because I needed the money, but because it was just available to me. My siblings were in England at that time. So anytime they come to Nigeria, they bring clothes. And I just entered last year at that time. So that was 85. So that was how I started business. They will give them to me and I will add my own profit, and that was how I started. So I had been selling, people had known me over a period of 20 years at that time, selling clothes, all sort of things. I was always selling. So those are the first people I thought about. So there was this friend of mine. In fact, the man, the wife, the husband is a friend to my husband. So one way or the other, I became friends with the wife. So, and she all the things they use in the house, clothes they all wear, they buy from me. I said, I'm home with you. And we are just moved to this area. We are just moved to Lekki. And I called her one day. I said, I'm not into real estate. To this so and so. I said, Mommy, anything you tell me to do, I will do it. I said, what kind of land are you saying? I said, there is one for 1.2. She said, He said, they are doing one kind of contribution in our office that they take it off from their salary. before he's paid, and that she will check if he has some money to use. And that was how she called me and said, look, because everything you have told me in my life has worked. I remember when our children were going to get into university, I gave her some advice and it worked, and everything worked out. And several times we always share our issues, and then God sorts it out for us. And she said, she was the first person that bought from me. She was the first
Wow.
person that bought from me. And
Wow.
and she was so happy. She looked for the 1 million. She first of all paid 1 million naira, and then later paid up the 800,000. She was the first person,
Wow.
and that was after about 3 months or so after I joined real estate. So after that time, people started buying, then we started selling small land. There were premium land then at that time, 6.5, but there were some 900, 1 point something, and then so I was selling those small land at that time, from time to time. People I had known, people I had sold to, people I had done business with, that they know that I'm honest. People I've worked in the same places with. I'll just say, this is what I'm doing, and say, hey, Omojebu, you have started. I'm going to buy from you. So that kind of. So that was how God started helping me, and I started getting comfortable with the business.
Wow. Thank you, ma.
You're
So my
welcome.
last question is, what's your advice to newbie, people that just joined, that have not made sense for a very long time? What's your
Mm,
advice to them?
if you are just joining, you have to give it your all. Real estate is worth giving your all. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have something to do, because if you don't make money in a long time, you won't have money to move around and all of that.
Yeah.
But go for trainings, be accessible. Let everybody know that you are not in real estate. That
Yeah.
is it. Awareness is very important. You can, as a young person, you can put it on your status. Maybe people will not beg you for money. But I just wondered, like in my own days, when I was growing up, I used to look up to giving elderly people money. So when I see young people now texting me this and that, I'm like, what is happening? But that is the situation you find ourselves in this country. So let everybody know what you are doing. And if for any reason they start stressing you for money, even some young people tell me that they stress them for money. And I tell them to bring customer for you. You understand?
Mm,
Tell them to bring, okay, that I'm also looking for customer. Bring somebody for me who will buy.
mm, mm, mm. That's a
Then
good
another
one,
thing
ma.
with this real estate. Have you ever, I don't know if it has happened to you before, when you have a client, the client wants to become realtor, or the client is asking how
Yes,
much is your commission, they
very
want to
true. Very true.
share. For
Yes.
me, I don't give anybody discounts. If you want discounts,
Sometimes
ask
they'll
for
go behind
customer.
you
I don't,
directly
no, no,
to
no, no, no,
the.
no, 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 no. That's the way you handle your clients. You don't even allow the client to know the company that is selling the product, until you know that the person is ready to pay. That's when you now send phone. So you understand? The mistake most people do, when you are sending, you are just talking to the clients. You are sending a flyer, you are sending video. Why should you send the form at that stage? You shouldn't. Because on the form, the person has already seen the address and everything. And maybe the person wants to even go into the business instead of telling you directly that, look, I'm interested. If you want to register the person, fine. But these days, people are very slimy and very tricky. And you too, you have to be smart so that you don't work for nothing. So I don't do that. I take my time to edit, to crop my flyers. If I need to send part of them, I screenshot and cut and then send. Do you understand? And then most people that buy from me, they will tell you, Peju, I'm buying because of you. If anything goes wrong, it's you. I said, don't worry, I'll pay you back. So some of them, out of fear, even if they now go to the website or find out somehow, they will say, let me just buy through her. And then you tell them this selling through BLG or other platforms like that. You tell them, or selling for companies like Ragnarok, that they pay you good commission. You don't need commission from your clients. You understand? Just tell them, don't worry, buy from me. You are not going to pay me commission. That one can even get clients to be more comfortable with you. When I notice some clients are the very uptight about money, I tell them up front, don't worry, I'm not collecting money commission from you. So, okay, how do you make a commission? The company is going to settle me. I tell them straight off. So that's the hand, then they will be ready to do business. It's only local agents that I collect commission because that's the only commission I will collect. But when it comes to developers like this, I don't collect commission twice. Once I collect from developer, it's okay. And I don't give discounts from my own commission. I don't. If you are starting to talk to me about, madam, how much commission is the company going to pay you? You have to give us a discount of your commission. I would say that I don't do that. If you want to buy from me, but if you don't want to buy, carry the whole with me. It's not by force. So when you now have a client that is doing like that, please, I beg, just tell the client straight off. If he wants to buy, let him buy. If he doesn't want to buy. But somehow, it has a lot of problems have happened with this real estate, whereby companies and people, they have given commission, this one give this commission, and they now start to fight and quarrel. It has happened very well. And I keep telling people, whatever, when you start doing that, it will be Moran. There's no how it will not be Moran. That person may not even buy from you. And then they now discover that the person has gone behind them to the company to go and buy. And then the realtors start quarreling with the company, and the company wouldn't even know what has transferred between the realtor and the buyer. So a lot of things happen. So what am I trying to say? You have to know your stand. Don't appear as if you are desperate. I let all my clients know that I'm not desperate at all. I am not desperate. But if you stay with me, you'll be very happy. Pressure. And I'm always very prompt. Whenever they send me text message, I respond quickly. Even if it's in the middle of the night and I wake up and I pick up my phone and I see a message, I just quickly respond because I may forget. So I can respond at any time of the day. I quickly respond. And that prompt response, sometimes they say, madam, I didn't know you would see it. So I pick up and go. I said, later I saw it, I responded, and they like it. So that's it. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
ma'am.
we can hear you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope I've been able to answer your questions. If I'm not able to, we can still discuss afterwards.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, for your time. Thank you for the investment also, investing your time to be here with us this afternoon. Thank you very much, ma'am. We're grateful.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we'll be sharing a link on the comment session now. I would want everybody to please fill the form. This will prepare us ahead for the next training in November. Because all our trainings has been well packaged, with a lot of values. So I'll be sharing the link on the comment section now. Kindly fill out the form, and then we'll get all your responses. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I think the MD wants to say something.
Okay, I just want to thank everyone again for coming online now to join us. Special thanks to Mrs. Olapeju Fuwape for your time, for being with us. Your session has been very insightful. I thank you for all your efforts and for being here today. I hope we'll all be able to take something away from this, and then we can convene again sometime in November. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, and this will be the end of the training for this month, October 2023. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and please do well to fill out the form, and we'll talk once again in November.
Thank you very much, Olapeju.
Thank you, sir. All right, bye, everybody.
So where is your form? Where is the form, please? How do you find the form?
It's on the comment section.
Okay. All right.
I believe we can see the form.
Yes, I've seen it. I'm trying
Alright.
to fill mine now.
Okay, thank you, ma. Thank you, Temitope Bayode. Thank you. All right, bye everyone. Thank you. The recorded section, the link will be sent via the group chat so that you can have access to it.
Okay, thank you.